Hello guys, and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be making my predictions for game week 36 of the 25-26 Premier League season. There are only 3 game weeks to go, 4 games for Man City and Crystal Palace, who have that game in hand. But yeah, today I'm going to be predicting the anti-penultimate game week of the season. But before we begin, let's see how I did last week. I only got the one scoreline bang on. I got Leeds beating Burnley 3-1 correct on the Friday night, and only 2 more outcomes correct, so that was 5 points, taking my season total up to 220. And this is how the Premier League table looks after 35 matches. And without further ado, let's predict this weekend. And we're going to start with a match of 2 sides with underwhelming seasons. It is Liverpool against Chelsea. Of course, Liverpool come into this game 4th in the points table. Chelsea come into this 9th in the table, and they're now outside of the European places entirely. And yeah, things look really bleak for them right now. I think they just lost, 3-1 to Nottingham Forest last week in the Premier League. Forest have pretty much survived. We'll come on to them a bit later. Liverpool losing 3-2 to Man United at Old Trafford, which is a slightly less of a surprise, to be honest. I mean, Chelsea's only win recently has come in that FA Cup semi-final against Leeds. I think in the league they haven't won in a long time now, and that goal they scored against Forest was like one of their only goals in the last 10 games or so. This game is at Anfield, and I do fancy Liverpool more at home. I do trust Liverpool more at the minute. Chelsea need to go on and target that FA Cup final against Man City if they want to get back into the Champions League, or into European football maybe, because their form is not great. But I'm going to back Liverpool to edge it 2-1. I'll give Chelsea a goal from somewhere. I don't know where, but I think Liverpool will win it. 2-1 to Liverpool. Huge 3 points. Next up, we've got Fulham against Bournemouth in tomorrow's first 3 p.m. kickoff. It's a battle of 2 sides who came up to the Premier League from the Championship together a few seasons back. They've both stayed up since, and yeah, I mean, Bournemouth are on great form. I think they're unbeaten in the last 15 league matches now. Fulham, the thing is, it is at Craven Cottage, and Fulham on their day can show up and get results. If it was at the Vitality, I would be backing Bournemouth more. But I think Fulham can get a draw here. Bournemouth have been drawing a lot of games. I think maybe 6 of the last 8 matches have ended in a draw. I think this might be another one here. I'll sit on the fence with a 1-1 draw on this one. I can't separate the two. As I said, if I had to pick a winner, I would pick the Cherries, but I think it will end in a point apiece, a 1-1 draw. Next up, we've got Sunderland against Manchester United. And, as I say, Man United beat Liverpool 3-2 last game week. Sunderland drew 1-1 with Wolves. We had Dan Ballard sent off fairly early in the match. I think it was in the 23rd minute or something. That cost them the game. They held on for a while, then Wolves found the equaliser. But it is at the Stadium of Light, and, you know, Sunderland have secured their survival, the mid-table right now, and Man United have secured their Champions League spot, in fact. They've officially confirmed themselves in the UCL places with that win over Liverpool now, and I think they'll be trying to target 3rd here, and Sunderland haven't been performing that convincing recently. So I think I'll back the Red Devils here. They've been impressive recently. And under Michael Carrick, I think they improve. I'm going to back Manchester United for a big win here. Back Man United to win 3-1. I think Sunderland at the Stadium of Light aren't to be underestimated, but I do think Michael Carrick will get Man United another 3 points and another 3 goals. 3-1 to the Red Devils. Next up, we've got Brighton against Wolves in, well, this is kind of a, well, I say a meh match. Brighton can still make European football of some description, maybe even Europa League. And Wolves, they're already down. They did snatch that draw against Sunderland last week, which I wasn't exactly predicting. And Brighton did lose for the first time in ages last week. Who did they lose to? They lost to Newcastle 3-1. I think back at the MX though, you've got to look at Brighton here as the only real potential winners. I think they'll come here, win. I think they'll keep a clean sheet as well. I'll back Brighton to win 2-0. I think Wolves are very much preparing for the Championship next season. I think they will. I think they might come here and fight, but ultimately I think Brighton will win and get a clean sheet to boot. I'll back Seagulls to win 2-0. And then we move on to tomorrow's 5:30 evening kickoff. It is Manchester City against Brentford in, well, I look at this game and I look at the Golden Boot race in this one. Erling Haaland against Iga Thiago in, well, yeah, I think both of them might well score in this game. Both have been banging in goals for both these clubs. Well, Haaland for Man City, Thiago for Brentford this season. I think this game may well decide who wins the Golden Boot. I don't know. But in this game, obviously Man City dropping points with a 3-3 draw against Everton on Monday night. Not exactly what I was predicting. Brentford with a huge 3-0 win against West Ham. That was a statement, well, that was a statement loss for West Ham. They're very much in trouble again. They were in good form when like Nuno first came in throughout 26, but recently not so much. But I think Brentford, I wouldn't put it past them coming here and getting something, but it is at the Etihad, and I do like Man City more at home. I think it could be closer than people think, but I will back Man City. I back Man City to win 2-1. I think Brentford might find a goal, Iga Thiago, but I think ultimately Man City will get the 3 points here. 2-1 to the blue side of Manchester. The hugely important 3 points in the title race. Next up, we move on to Sunday, 2 p.m. kickoffs. It is Nottingham Forest against Newcastle United in a battle of two sides. This is a tricky one because, see, if you'd asked me last week about this game, I would have put all my eggs in the Forest basket. But Newcastle did get that convincing victory at St James's Park against Brighton in last weekend. But Forest did hammer Chelsea 3-1 as well. And you know what? Forest have been on great form recently. They've been scoring a lot of goals as well. And it is at the City ground. I'm just starting to worry, was that result an outlier for Newcastle? I think it is, you know. I think Newcastle will be fine. They'll be in and around mid-table come the end of the season. Obviously not where the Magpie fans want to be, but I think Forest will win this. And given the way they've performed recently under Vitor Pereira, I think they will also score a few goals. I back Nottingham Forest to win 3-1. I think in the game that Newcastle have at St James's Park, they may well be able to get results. But I think in this one, I think Forest may well win. A convincing win, 3-1 to stay up. Next up, we've got Crystal Palace against Everton. And, well, this is another interesting one. I mean, In the Premier League, the wheels have kind of fallen off now with Crystal Palace. They've still been getting results over the line here and there, but they've actually slid to 15th in the league. They are below Leeds now in the table. Everton are still 10th. They're still inside the top half of the table. And they got that 3-3 draw. Mighty impressive 3-3 draw against Man City, although some may look at that game and think it was 2 points dropped because they were 3-1 up and all the City fans almost left the stadium. Then I think Haaland scored a goal and to make it 3-2, and then they all came streaming back in, and then found the equaliser. This is tricky because it could be a draw. And another thing is, Crystal Palace did win 2-1 last night in the Conference League to make the final. So congratulations on making the Conference League final, Crystal Palace. Got a couple more teams to talk about in European finals. But I think their form hasn't been the best in the Prem, and David Moyes has been getting results out of this Everton side quite frequently. I'll back the Toffees to edge it 2-1. I just think Everton might well get the 3 points from somewhere here. Because Palace has been alright in Europe, but they haven't been on great form in the Prem recently, so I'll back Everton to win it 2-1, and a huge 3 points to try and make European football next season. 2-1 to the Toffees. Next up, we've got Burnley against Aston Villa in, well, another big match. I say big match, it's not really. Burnley are already relegated to the Championship, and Villa are still 5th in the table. They're still yet to confirm the Champions League spot, but they did just beat Nottingham Forest 4-0 last night in the semi-final second leg of the Europa League, and they've gone through 4-1 on aggregate, and now they're playing SC Freiburg in the Europa League final. So again, well done to Aston Villa. Unai Emery in yet another Europa League final. He's the king and the master at that competition. In this one, I think it might be tricky. It's at Turf Moor, and Burnley are a tricky side. They are a very tricky customer. And you know, they tend to keep things tight, and Villa haven't been scoring a boatload of goals recently. But in the Premier League. But I think they may well just snatch it. They may well just break Burnley's defence down enough to snatch the 3 points. I back Villa to win 1-0. I don't think it's going to be convincing at all. But I think Villa and Unai Emery will get the 3 points to get one step closer to, regardless of Europa League action, confirming a Champions League spot for next season. So 1-0 to the Villains. And then next up, we have got Sunday's 4:30 kickoff. So the evening kickoff, and what a big game this is. It's West Ham United against Arsenal. It's a big game at both the bottom and the top end of the table. Arsenal with the win. What was it? What did they do? They beat Fulham 3-0 last week, and with Man City dropping points, Arsenal are now in the driving seat for the title. West Ham losing 3-0 to Brentford last week. They're now in the drop zone, and I think Spurs... Did Spurs win, or did they draw? Spurs beat Villa, yeah. So that's a 3-point swing in Spurs' favour now. And West Ham are in the drop zone. The thing is, if this was at the Emirates, I would be fancying Arsenal a lot more, and if I had to pick a winner, I would pick the Gunners, which, by the way, congratulations Arsenal on making the Champions League final against PSG on May the 30th, but in this one, I mean, they did beat Atletico Madrid 1-0 on Tuesday night to get through. So there may well be some tired legs here, and It is at the London Stadium. I know it's not a lot of travelling, but I think West Ham can get something at home here. I think this is another twist in the title race and the survival scrap. I think this might be a draw here. I'll sit in the fence with a 2-2 draw. I'll go for a Desmond on this one. I think both sides can... well, both sides will pick up a point, which won't be a bad result for either, but won't be great either. But I think it might be a point apiece and a couple of goals each. I'll go 2-2. And then finally we go to Monday night's kickoff. It's an 8 PM kickoff. It's Tottenham Hotspur against Leeds United in... well, it was a relegation scrap a few weeks ago. Now, I think Leeds are okay. Because, as I say, they're above Palace, and I don't see Palace going down. And Leeds are in good form. The thing is, Spurs are still in this. They're still only 17th in the league, albeit above the bottom 3. But Spurs are in good form. I think they've won 2 or 3 and drawn 1 of the last 4 matches. They are in great form right now, and since Roberto De Zerbi came in, he's been guiding Spurs in the right direction. And it is at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and that's starting to feel a slight bit like a fortress again. I know it wouldn't surprise me if Leeds got a draw from this at all. But Spurs have got a few good wins recently. You predicted exactly them to beat Villa at Villa Park last week. I didn't, but I feel like I've been sleeping on their good form. I think I'll back Spurs to win here, you know. I'll back Tottenham to win 2-1, which will be, you know, a hugely important 3 points for them. I think they might just snatch it. 2-1 to Spurs. And there you have it, guys. This weekend's 10 Premier League matches predicted. I'd love to know your predictions in the comments down below. And yeah, there is the Man City Crystal Palace catch-up game next week, so I may well be back early next week to predict the Gameweek 37 round of fixtures and the catch-up match, and we'll see how I did this weekend then. But until then, I'll see you all in the next one.